These two pieces, super special for a super special guitar. Welcome to Dave's World. Before we get started on these two pieces, we're going to travel back in time to our milling process that we did a few months ago. Body and neck, and we'll resume on our progress. Go back over to the bandsaw later and just cut these notches so our clamps can kind of go straight across, and we have a nice even way to go about this. I don't know how anybody else does this. I'm sure there's like a proper way or something, but this is the best I can come up with. I know it'll work though. This is the guitar that's the relative to our Korina Explorer, the 19th guitar we made. This one is still going to get the same batch of white limba. Chunk of wood with a bunch of clamps on it. That's all it really looks like, is kind of like a Star Wars ship and just like a log. But it won't tomorrow. Really lightweight limba, and it all looks really nice. So we have our fretboard on, everything's glued up, truss rods in. We're gonna let it sit overnight.
I can't even speak for how insane this thing is to sand. You kind of just have to look at it for what it's worth, as sort of just like two pieces of wood glued together. Because if you think of it as a guitar, it's like, really?
I stuck in our big 3/4 inch blade so we can cut straight lines really good. This one doesn't get a lot of curves quite yet, so we'll just get it kind of rough and then route the rest. Really cool saw. I love the color combination with the limba and the Brazilian rosewood. It looks really good. It's like awesome. So we'll keep at it and get this kind of looking more like a guitar neck today. Well, there's a reason why they call it our favorite tool. It's really cool to use. We'll go ahead and route this out and get everything finished. With our 12-inch radius, we're going to put our frets in and carry on. Pretty cool Brazilian rosewood board.
So easy.
I just have to bring it down a little bit and take some off of the bottom here. It's going pretty well. This is a tall guitar. Once you set these up, they're tall. I'll tell you what, this thing is starting to feel real good. It's still crude around the heel, around the headstock, everything. We'll refine everything once it gets going a little bit. Let it sit and dry up, but the neck joint is so perfect and super stoked. Carving our heel is super important, so we'll get it just right. Thing weighs absolutely nothing. It's awesome. We could just march right on into the spray booth with this thing now and just have at it, but I like to let it hang out overnight. I'll check it out in the morning, go over it one last time to be absolutely sure all the edges are nice, and just kind of get all the round edges done. Tape off our fretboard in the morning and start sealing it up. We'll hook up our 58 limba yellow. We're gonna go for the same color as our Explorer that we did, which is like the one at Dave's Guitar Shop in La Crosse, Wisconsin. So it'll be that like smoked, crackled kind of look. Definitely not straight up natural like it is now. Here. So remember, we do have to paint the headstock black. So we're gonna do that and tape it off, or at least just wrap it in this paper for now. Pretty obscure shape for a guitar, but get it looking authentic. So I've collected guitars for so long, and I was one of those guys that was, and believe me, there's a lot of these guys I was one of them for 20 years, where it's like, well, if it's not a Fender, I'm not playing it. So when I look at my Fender guitar collection, which I don't even know how many I have, like a dozen, let's say, the custom shop Fenders are all really high quality, but the master builds have the hand done frets and the rolled edges, and it just makes them feel a lot more bougie and expensive. And whenever I pull out those guitars, I have 3 of them, master builds, and they just have that distinct difference, each one, as opposed to the regular Fender custom shop. So that's kind of what I base these off of, the fretwork and the fretboard edges. Is that like really rolled over, rounded vintage feel. It makes a huge difference. It just takes a really long time. Go over the frets here, and then we'll buff and polish this one and start hardwiring. So here's our super special 4-ply material again. We have enough to do a couple guitars, but we'll do our V with that. The next level. This is like crazy. So certainly enjoyable. I'm really excited to hear this one when it's together. I think it's going to have a really unique sound. We'll see how close it is to that Explorer. Kind of just have some sandpaper on this block, and I'm just kind of, you know, doing it. Quite a few details different on our V. I'm using like Fender style string ferrules. I always thought the V would have looked better with them. It kind of just has those weird countersunk holes in the back for the ball end of the string. So this will be a little classier. There's a lot of things on our V that's just like not a Gibson. The color on this thing, the checking, and some of the aging. And the non-tarnished hardware kind of will age into itself. I really like this guitar. Yeah, these look really good. I kind of just have them perfectly sized so I can just push them in. Standard wiring here. We're not going to do anything special. It's special enough, but this is the Sanchez pickups, just like the Explorer, same thing. It's number 29. Kind of just sanding our little truss rod cover here. It's so exciting. This guitar is just radical, like plain and simple. Now, it might not be as crazy as Just Breathe over there. That's for another video, the most custom creation we've ever made. But this V, I mean, I'm so excited I forgot to put the strap buttons on. We're gonna do that. Also working on the truss rod cover now, just doing some sanding. Looks radical, and our logo looks really good up there. So get this thing 100% together. Have a couple of gigs that we're gonna visit with this guitar, but I don't know how many I'll play the entire time because I have to sit behind the steel, the pedal steel, and play guitar. So don't know how ergonomic the V will be. We'll find out, but we will be taking it to the gig. Okay, so we did make it to the gig. Once again, our oddly shaped wedge guitars seem to be at Harley-Davidson dealerships. Our Appalachian Harley was the Explorer, and now this one is the V. So kind of a different crowd. Not used to a country band. They're like, what's that keyboard thing you're playing? But they do love the V. I switch between the steel and the guitar the whole time. So kind of interesting, but it's going really well here. Love this bridge pickup and the neck pickup.
so sad, life's too short. Love like that. I fall in love with a good timing man.
So, blessed and fortunate as always to be the playtester again here at the Lehr Instruments Custom Shop. Susquehanna Valley Harley Davidson went well. We were loved. I don't know why they hired a country band, but I think they were kind of thinking, why is the guy in the country band playing a Flying V? So there were plenty of pictures. We had even pictures of pictures, so that was cool. But great time and just a fun night. We're going to isolate this thing in the Mesa Boogie and hear how it really sounds here in the shop and just kind of check it out. That's cool. Across the board, like evenly on all the notes, and I'm proud of that. The neck is really full on it. It has a really good feel. This tone is just wild. We should sit with it like shredder style. Oh, that's uncomfortable. Okay, hold on. That's cool. Those pinch harmonic is totally cool. I love it. It kind of takes like a certain type of guitarist to really like buy one of these. It's probably not really going to be your only guitar. It kind of plays you. Like when you show up to the gig, it's less about you and more about the guitar that you're playing when it's this thing. And it just kind of, it sparks a lot of interest. This guitar is going to the same home of our Explorer, and that just warms my heart to know that I have a set of Korina guitars that I've made that live together. It's just fantastic. We won't have this one on Reverb, but there are a few guitars on there. The link's in the description. Also, my email is in the description. I don't intend on making a lot of these. There'll never be one quite like this, that's for sure. The guitar is super special. We're going to send it off to its home, and we'll continue on. Like I say, the link for the email and the reverb.com are in the description. And thanks for visiting Dave's World.